prominent. I mean, that should say something.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Basically, I don't know. This, if you like macabre humor, you'll like this movie, and you'll like this. And the stories really don't have that much humor in them, but the stories are just dark.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that Matt Damon and the late Heath Ledger were a good combination. I mean,
for sure.
They really were, and
to be very honest with you, this reminded me of a what's the word? Feudalistic. Thank you. This reminded me of a feudalistic. Good grief! I'm totally drawing a blank. Hang on a minute. It's almost there. My train of thought's still leaving the station.
Here it comes.
Boondock Saints. There it is.
Okay. Yes, okay. It kind of did.
It reminded me of a feudalistic Boondock Saints.
We're brothers, damn it!
Yeah, that actually was that. In the beginning of the movie, it is extremely hammed up, but it's supposed to be because you're supposed to get the impression that they are completely BSing their way through this whole little scene.
They did play brothers very well.
Oh yeah, they played brothers.
I can't see anybody else in that role now, ever.
Oh no, they did extremely well with that. It's not a long movie, but it actually jams a lot of stuff in a very short period of time, and they do it in a way to where it doesn't feel like anything's rushed. Because of all of the story references, you don't feel like it doesn't rush the movie because the story references aren't part of it. It's more MacGuffin, really, than anything else. It's just something to tie it back to the book.
Exactly.
So, really, if you have read the book, The Brothers Grimm, read the short stories, and you're watching the movie hoping for some kind of a connection, there really isn't one other than references.
And the dark subject matter.
And the dark subject matter. But other than that, I mean, one other thing that really got me about this movie, there are a lot of torture scenes in here.
Yeah, there are.
Holy cow.
Every single scene, they were in trouble of some kind.
That's true. These guys...
If they weren't getting tortured, they were threatened with being burned alive, getting killed by Hag Lady in Tower with long hair.
Hag Lady in Tower with long hair.
They were always in a perilous situation, life or death,
really
constantly.
They really were.
There's definitely a lot of action. You will not get bored. It is definitely an adventure fantasy flick.
Mm-hmm. And if you like adventure and you're not big into fantasy, you might still enjoy this movie for the simple fact that it does tend to leave, it has enough action to keep non-fantasy fans interested. But anyway, that's really all I can say about this. It's not a bad movie. It's very dark and very disturbing. I would definitely,
if you're gonna watch it with your kids, I definitely recommend at least 8 or older. I mean,
I'd say older than that for sure, because honestly, this is a really dark movie. I see this geared more towards grown-ups than I do kids. I really do. I don't see this as being a child's film. There are a lot of funny things that happen in here, but all of it's planned, and none of it is something that I can really rag on because it's all in there, because it was all planned. The only one part that really stuck out to me that I thought was really funny is where the woodsman is telling his kid this really creepy story.
About the witch. Wanting to capture the young maidens.
While they're in the woods next to the witch's tower. What father would do that?
One thing I did have a problem with is that obviously the evil hag lady lives in the woods. The woods are obviously evil.
Yeah.
And they end the movie with them burning down the woods. And why couldn't they have done that at the beginning?
Oh, I know. If they had just burned the woods down at the beginning of the movie, none of this would have happened. None of this would have happened. I mean, maybe it's a little too much to ask, but...
But I mean, it didn't have plot holes like holes. So, I mean...
Pun intended. But, anyway, moving on. Anyway, that's really all I really have to say about this. It's a good, short, and sweet film. It's not very long. It's not very in-depth either. That's one thing. The film is really shallow, but it wasn't intended to be deep.
No.
It's just a dark, funny thrill ride. That's all it is. And if you don't like that, you probably want to skip this one by. But anyway, I mean...
That's all I can really say, too. I mean, I definitely think that it's a movie for older people, and if you like dark humor and, Boondock Saints parodies and the Grimm brothers and Terry Gilliam and the late Heath Ledger and Matt Damon, then you would definitely like this. I'd give it a whirl.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that's all for this week. One quick administrative note before we get off of here. Soon, I don't know when it's going to be, but we may have a break in broadcasting. We're trying to get a film editor to come in and help us out with our film so we can actually splice things and start putting a few more effects into the videos just to keep things a little more interesting. And we also
love our fans.
We do love our fans. You 11 people rock. So yeah, it's up to 11 now.
Keep trucking.
Yeah, but we're trying to do it. We're trying to get our hands on a camcorder, but it's hard to find one that's not less than $700 that'll do the job. We actually had one tonight, and I don't have a FireWire connection for my computer, so I can't do it this time. I'm sorry. I wish I could. And honestly, a lot of you guys have sent us some really good requests. One of the biggest ones is Fight Club. We're gonna do that, but I'm not gonna do it on a webcam. That is too good of a movie. And there's too much that could be happening there for me to really do it justice on a webcam sitting here. I'm waiting until I have better lighting and better, just better editing and whatnot to do this, because I want to do this movie and book justice. Same with a lot of the others. A lot of you guys have been requesting Lord of the Rings review. If you really want us to do it, we will do it. However, be warned. If we have to do a Lord of the Rings video, and by have to, I mean if you guys are going to bug the ever-living crap out of us until we do it, I'm going to tell you guys, this is going to be a long review. The books are long, the movies are longer. The movie is like the first movie is like 3 hours, and if you want us to review all of them, that's 9 hours of film that we have to sit through for you. And reviewing it piece by piece is going to be a long time, and it may end up being like a month devoted simply to Lord of the Rings. If you still want us to do it, we will, but I'm just warning you, it is going to be a long review. So shoot us what you think in the comments. Again, if you still want us to do it, we will. But, again, be warned, it is a long movie and a long book, and it will take us a very good while to get through it and do these reviews. So, leave us comments on that, tell us what you want to see, and there you go. That's our show for this week. I'm Bonnie.
And I'm Clyde.
You guys take it easy.